What does it take to dominate an industry that wasn't built for you? Meet Fanny from GFX. The automotive industry isn't known for making room for women, so Fanny didn't wait for permission. She learned the game, earned her seat, and built real authority in a space most women are told to avoid. Find out more this week on Jewish Grit. This week on the Jewish Grit podcast, we're sitting down with Fanny, and it is really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming.
Please, it was my pleasure.
For those who do not know you and they're meeting you for the first time, can you please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're building?
So my name is Fanny Hanono. I own a automotive transmission, aftermarket transmission company, and we manufacture in Asia and India parts for automatic transmissions. That is that thing in your car that has a PRND2, as opposed to a manual transmission, which is like a stick shift. So my father started this company in 1961, and I have been working here since the early 80s. And I have since then owned it, sold it, went back into the industry, and here I am today.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
Okay, I have so many questions. There's so much to get into. I guess the first question that I have is, are there many women in this industry?
Basically, none. There's, I think, a woman who owns a trucking company out of possibly Chicago, and of course there's the president of General Motors, who's a woman for, I think, the last 2 or 3 years, but that's a first in we call it the original equipment manufacturing OEM. But that is obviously not the typical business to have women in.
Can you tell me a time while you were building this company where you were stuck against the wall, you had nowhere to go and you just had to get yourself out of it?
So I have had many difficult times. When in 1999 we were ready to sell the very large company because we thought the world was coming to an end with a new millennium and this and that, and we bought new computer systems that would go into the new millennium, and lo and behold, nothing happened. The world just kept going, but we had spent a fortune on computer systems. And a year later, a very large company who was a customer of mine offered to buy the company. And a year later, we finally did the deal, and we finally closed the deal. And then we went from being Carfel to GFX. We just sold certain assets of the company, and we maintained certain assets of the company in 2001. At that point, I stayed working in what is GFX, but my family owns another company called Perry Ellis International. So I was working with both companies at that time. Well, I still work for both companies now. We manufacture men's clothing on one side, and I manufacture automotive parts on the other side. So the automotive part is 100% owned by me, and the Perry Ellis I share with my brother.
In regards to Judaism and your Jewish values, when uncertainty happens and you are just facing some hardships, your back is against the wall, things are going wrong, what grounds you?
Well, my family definitely grounds me. My kids ground me, because I always think that that's more important than what's happening out there. I pray a lot. I sometimes maybe pray more when I'm going through worse times than others, but I do pray. I have an incredible faith in Hashem, that He's watching over me, and whatever He put in front of me was because I'm going to be able to get through it. And I believe that. I have had this year has been extraordinarily tough for me, probably a long time. I am a divorced mom. I had a very bad year during my divorce, and I was with 5 kids that I raised on my own, basically. My older ones were already older, but I believe a divorce in any family is difficult to begin with. So I have had some tough years, but you know, when I wake up in the morning, I think all my kids are healthy. My grandkids are healthy, and I have more to be thankful for than more to complain about. And that grounds me all the time. Somebody said to me, actually today, it's been difficult and, you're tired and this and that. And I said, yeah, but you know what? All my kids and my grandkids are healthy. My family's healthy. My brother's healthy. So I'm okay. The rest, I'm going to handle.
Wow. And so how did you get involved in this? Like, how did you get started?
So I like the automotive side because it has a beginning and it has an end. So you manufacture a part, you might pay for the molding or the tooling, whatever you might call it. And that part will only be good for maybe 20 years. So it has a beginning and it has an ending. A Ford transmission could last in the industry 20 years. It could only last 4 years. It depends what transmission it is. What is called a ZF, which is a BMW transmission. BMW changes their transmissions very often. They upgrade them, they make changes. So I like things that have a tooling that you go in, you manufacture the part, you continue to manufacture for so many years, and then the part is done. Because the car gets off the road, the transmission is done. I also love the manufacturing, going to factories. I love to learn about the difference between aluminum, iron, powdered metal. I love that world. I love the world where it's just, first of all, very different. Very different. I don't know women in my industry. I am very blessed. I have the same staff, some of them 40 years, 30 years, 45 years.
It's a testament to you.
It's a testament to myself and some to my dad. All in all, I would say that I don't have anybody here younger, maybe warehouse staff that's here, maybe even my big warehouse staff is going on 30, 17, 18 years. And in the office, most people are 10 and up.
So how old were you when you started with your dad?
So my dad started the company in 1961, a couple days after I was born.
Wow. Okay.
So I have the company's year is May 31st. I was born May 30th. So my father always said I brought, in Spanish, they say el pan debajo del brazo, the bread underneath your arm. I got married. I went to college and got married and went to live in Panama for 6 years. I had 2 children in Panama. Then we moved back to the United States to Miami, and I had another 3 kids. So I have like a total of 5. And when I came back, I wanted to work. I had thought about going to law school, but then I started working with my dad. My dad said, why don't you come help me? And I started. And my brother was already for many years in the clothing business. I didn't want to step on his toes either. So I went to the automotive side, and it's been 40 years, and I love it.
Wow. So you mentioned that you have 5 kids. How did you integrate your family life with building?
I want to tell you, people have asked me this before, and I tell you there's no perfect balance. One always gets affected by the other.
Yeah.
I have been very blessed. Once you're an owner also, I am a woman, so I am very considerate and thoughtful when my employees have to go to school plays and do things with their kids. I think that I spent a lot of time, I didn't miss school plays, or at least I tried never to miss a school play. I went to all the school events. I went to all the school field trips over and over again, because you have 5 kids, so it's the same field trip 5 times.
Never ends.
Never ends. But I think I did a very decent job, I hope, anyway, in my own mind. But I will tell you, it's not easy at all, because I really believe the work starts when you get home with the kids. I think work is easier than your kids. Work ends and you have a decision to make, and you make it and you move on. But with kids, it doesn't happen that way. You have decisions to make, and then you second guess your own decisions, and then you think, wow, maybe I should have done this instead of this. You feel that in business, but not the same, because there's actually a human being that is your child.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, I am extremely proud that I worked while my kids were growing up. I wanted my daughters to know that you could do it. It's not something that is so far-fetched. You can work and you can have children. I have been extremely blessed to have very good help around me, from actually paid help to my friends that have helped me when I'm in Asia. I have called them, hey, my kid can't find his homework, can you go to my house and help me look for it? And people have been very good. I have been very blessed in that respect.
I want to go into something that you said, beginning, that there aren't that many women in this industry, and raising a family, and let's talk about it from the business perspective. What are some pushbacks that you have gotten or received by being a woman in this industry?
So I'll tell you a funny story. I was interviewed recently for something else, and the woman said, oh, so how do you establish relationships? I said, for me, I find it extremely difficult, because if there's a golf tournament and the men are all going to play, they never ask me to participate in the golf tournament. They asked me to sponsor the golf tournament.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So nobody says to me, well, if you're not going to go golfing with us, would you like a spa day? It's unheard of in my world, but they would love me to sponsor a hole or the golf tournament or anything. So I think it's very hard for me. Some ways I think men are more kinder in some ways when they see a woman, but I think that their buddies are always going to be men, and if they can give the order to the man, I think they actually do.
So how do you deal with that?
I tell you that I just work hard, and I go and I hope that there'll be another opportunity that I will take it. And your relationships in your industry are very important. Yeah. And people that you do speak to in your industry and you do have conversations with, you have to form a bond with those people, and those are the people that will come out to rally for you.
Was there ever a time that you wanted to give up?
There was many times I wanted to give up. Many times. I had one year that I bought so much inventory, I thought I was going to go bankrupt. I made an investment in a specific part. So the way transmissions work is they are first seen in Europe and in Eastern Europe before they even hit the United States. So I had what's called tooled up, bought a molding for a part, thinking it was going to sell like crazy. And I bought so much inventory, I almost bankrupted my own company. 5 years later, that part is now extraordinarily popular, but I had sold so much of it to get rid of it at any price, and I paid a very heavy price. It was a very, very eye-opening experience for me. I have had many situations like that, not where I buy a lot of inventory, but I bought a lot of inventory when Trump became president, because I knew he was going to go right after the tariffs. So I bought a lot of inventory, and I'm still sitting on a lot of inventory. Also, a very big cash expense, and it puts a very big strain on the company's finances.
When you're building a company, and you're growing, and there are all these different incidences that are happening globally, politically, economically, right? There's a lot of risk taking. So what's your risk aversion, or how big of a risk taker are you as an entrepreneur?
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to be in the international world, there's a lot of risk taking. You have issues with currency fluctuations, political fluctuations. I mean, you think of Ukraine. Ukraine is a huge market for me, was a huge market for me. They went to war, it's been 3 years. It's still a decent market because they still have to fix their cars. But I shipped a customer parts to Ukraine, and it sat in Ukrainian customs for almost a year. So you have to extend circumstances where you give them longer credit. There's other things you have to do. It's difficult. You have to be on top of the politics of every nation. You have to be careful when you give credit. Mexico is a case in point. We do, thank God, very well in Mexico. But you have to be careful, because sometimes it's hard to get dollars in Mexico and send you money. So you really have to be on top of what is happening in the world. Currency fluctuations are extremely important to me, because if the currency isn't worth anything or is very low, then they can't afford to pay their bills, and then you can't ship because they can't pay.
Well, let's talk about the Jewish bubble.
Let's talk about the Jewish bubble.
How does Jewish resilience or your Judaism play into you as an entrepreneur, as a mother?
So my Jewishness is probably the most important thing to me. My children knew that. They all went to Jewish schools. I am not Orthodox. I am spiritual, but everybody knew Shabbat was Shabbat. Nobody went out. It wasn't like a question. Interestingly enough, when everybody went away to college, as they came back, they no longer wanted to go out Friday nights. They may have gone out at 11 o'clock at night, whatever, but most of them did not want to go out Friday nights anymore. And I'm very proud to say all my kids still do Shabbat. Now my daughter is Orthodox, so I go to her after shul every Saturday afternoon for lunch, or sometimes on Friday night. I usually hit my son on Friday nights for Shabbat, or I do it in my home and they come to me. I'm very proud that my kids know who they are, what they stand. I'm very proud that they know where their Jewishness is important to them.
That's beautiful. What does success in business or life look like to you?
So success in my life, I would say that you have good kids that have good moral and good ethics and know that they're Jewish. That is success to me. That they're Zionistic, that they give a lot of charity, that they go to all Jewish organizations, that they know who they are in their Zionism, in their Judaism, in their spirituality. That is extremely, extremely important to me. Business-wise, I am blessed again, as always, to have a lot of good people surrounding me. And that has allowed me to be successful.
What's your one piece of advice that you would give to young professionals or college students that are, looking to grow a business or build a business?
So I would give them a few pieces of advice as I get older. It's up to you, no matter how hard it is, to work harder. And I really truly believe that you really want to make it, you're going to have to work harder than the next guy. And that means if you got to be 24/7 answering emails, answering people, you got to do it. It's not going to come from 9 to 5. You really have to put your guts and your soul into anything you do.
We've gotten so deep into so many different topics, but I really want to bring it back to this one question, which is, what makes you proud to be a Jew?
Israel makes me extraordinarily proud that we started a nation and we are where we are today. It makes me proud these people throughout our history that have come and shown how we can survive things. I'm a real big reader about the Holocaust. I literally just finished a book today. And I think to myself, people say, oh, they went to the slaughter like lambs to the slaughter. I don't think anybody did. It's very easy for you to say that in the 2000s, in this generation, when they didn't have a phone. You couldn't call your mother, you couldn't call your sister and tell them what was happening, get out and escape, And then I think that we have so many heroes, whether it's Jabotinsky or Trumpeldor, or you look at histories in Judaism where one person affected so many. It's a blessing.
Fanny, thank you so much for sitting with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
This was such an insightful conversation, a very inspiring conversation. I learned so much today from you.
Oh, please, I learned from you too, Shem Tov.
Yeah, no, it's really beautiful. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you for listening to Jewish Grit, an Olami mentorship podcast. At Olami Mentorship, we believe that everyone needs a mentor. What better way is there to tap into your personal and professional potential than with a Jewish mentor at your side? Learn more at olami.org/mentorship. Don't forget to keep listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.